Hi everyone and welcome to Techno News. Today we're gonna talk about a new opening in the Paris night scene, which is a fresh breath of air for the techno scene in Paris, which is notoriously dead. Also, Hive Festival is taking over a well-established club in Berlin, and let's see how the TikTok techno crew is gonna influence Berlin. Besides that, former airport of Berlin, TXL, is also getting restructured to a cultural space, which is pretty interesting. And at last, the legendary Watergate Club, the famous one peer of the Berghain, same level as Berghain, is maybe returning? In Paris, a good old club is returning after a long winter pause. It's the Virage, and it's coming back on the 11th of April, so it's already like 3 weeks of working, and it's already shining with some nice lineups with people like Curses, Dana Montana, Salome, The Hacker. And also I heard that Miss Kitten will play there and supporting like this venue. And it's pretty nice to see because I just been Berghain last week and listened to Miss Kitten and it was perfect and amazing. And if she's supporting that, it's definitely worth to go there and to see it with your own eyes. So maybe it's a little bit of fresh air again for Paris techno scene, because inherently from what I heard, the Paris techno scene is pretty boring and got like pretty gentrified and mainstream. So maybe this is like a last resort of real techno music and community, and maybe they can be a role model for a city where gentrification is like heavily amplified and heavily in place, how you still can create new cultural spaces and still keep your realness factor up and be a cultural space without this whole whiny attitude towards like the development of the city. Back to Berlin. In the Anomaly Art Club, as you know, is already closed and they changed now the owner. So it's not technically, the club is not closing, it just changed their owner. And the new owners are basically the collective of Hive Festival. Finally, after all this trend of TikTok techno, we finally have a TikTok techno club in Berlin, and the new name of this club will be District. They're taking over this club, and Anomaly Art Club closed because of, you know, lack of money and problems with neighbors and stuff. So Hive Festival, or the collective behind Hive Festival, is trying to manage it better. So let's see how they're gonna do it. They're already like planning to do more toilets, more chill out areas, and the only question for me is like, how can you do more chill out areas and more toilets in Anomaly Art Club? Because we did our first parties in Anomaly, and back then I know the owner, like the previous owner of the Anomaly. He always told me we do more toilets, more chill out rooms, basically same stuff that he's been telling us. And what he did, there's a lot of toilets there, and that's why I don't really know how much toilets do they want. Maybe they just want a floor of toilets or something. I'm not pretty sure, but I'm pretty interested how this addition to the Berlin club culture will evolve and impact our city. Basically having a TikTok techno club would be nice. Another big thing in Berlin is the TXL project. So we in Berlin had an airport in the center of the city basically, and it got shut down obviously because of neighbor report. So it shut down and now it's basically an empty field and nothing too special is happening there. And basically the cultural ministry and basically the county Berlin is thinking what to do with it, and they want to create some cultural spaces in the TXL, the former airport of Berlin. So we have 3,700 square meters of free space where you can do whatever you want. There's probably, but there's certainly gonna be some grants. So foreign collectives and local collectives are free to apply for a space there, and creating something new, something special like a cultural hotspot. The major advantages is how funny it is that it's pretty remote, so there won't be any neighbor reports or neighbor beefing. So it's pretty funny that the airport shut down because of neighbor reports, and now they're gonna be some cultural spaces or clubs or whatever, who knows what's gonna be there. And it's so nice to do that there because there won't be any neighbor reports. So this project also can be like a major role model for other cities how to approach cultural planning in an urban environment. Let's just hope that the Berlin administration is gonna keep it easy with the bureaucracy, so the collectives can move in there without any problems, and there won't be like too much paperwork to do and killing the vibes of a lot of creative people, because nothing is worse to a creative person than German bureaucracy, period. As As you might know, Watergate closed not so long ago. As in many clubs in Berlin, it closed due to explosive rents. So they got to shut down their clubs, and there was like a gravestone project where like a local collective is doing gravestones in front of like shut down clubs. And one of them was Watergate, where they did like a small gravestone just on the floor. You know, it just stayed there for a few days, but in these few days it was fun, and some snob who doesn't understand any humor or whatsoever just removed it. And luckily the collective that does this stuff also did it with the old Griesmühle, where they did like a plate on the wall. I'm not pretty sure if it's still there, but we in Berlin, we really appreciate our dead clubs and we keep them in memory. So the people, fans, the community of Watergate said to Watergate, or like demanded of Watergate, hey, we want some parties. There's a gap. We need more parties. And the Watergate crew basically decided to do an open air party series called Don't Stop the Dance. So the first party is on 24th May, and the major headliner is Chris Luno. The rest of the lineup is still unannounced, and they're planning to do 4 events in total. So the first event is on the 24th May with the headliner Chris Luno. The second event is on the 14th June. The third event is on 5th July, and the last event, the fourth event, is on 16th August. It's all happening in Sage Beach, not so far away of KitKat or Tresor. So basically a good location for people just strolling around and coming there for an open air, because KitKat and Tresor definitely don't have any open air spaces. So you can party there just on the Spree, the local river here. So it's gonna be like really nice open air chill festival. If you like the Watergate style of music, more chilly house, more chill techno, some experimental, but more on the softer side, not so hard, dark, dusty and sweaty, more like the elevated techno style, let's say business techno. And at last, if you are interested in techno history and really want to dig more into how techno evolved and how techno was discovered basically, I can recommend you a new channel from Kevin Saunderson on TikTok. If you don't know who Kevin Saunderson is, he's one of the Belvedere 3, the inventor of techno, basically co-creator of techno. And yes, he has his own TikTok channel now. It's pretty boomerish, so if you like more towards the Gen Z side of life, it's gonna maybe a bit borrow you a bit, but I think there's like some quality content where he explains how he and Derek Mays and the other guy, I forgot his name, Juan Atkins, discovered techno or created techno. And there's like a lot of vintage videos where you can just tap into the history of techno, which is pretty interesting because techno is from Detroit, and they show you how basically it happened to be with this whole underground resistance movement and here and there and this and that. So tap into Kevin Saunderson's TikTok channel and get to know the history of techno. So these are the techno news from this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, share a comment, and don't forget to hit the notification button. Besides that, see you in the next video.